Wedding planners, what is the weirdest couple you've ever met? I was a wedding coordinator intern at a local banquet hall once summer. The actual coordinator on staff would work with them for months, then I'd typically help out with the rehearsal and ceremony/reception the next day. We had one couple that we knew was going to have an interesting ceremony. We knew she was going to have element around the hall that we would see in natural because she liked fairies, and also their best friend was going to marry them and it was his first time. They show up to rehearsal and she's in full fairy wings and she confirmed that, yes, she was going to wear them in the wedding. Sure, whatever. We start getting a ceremony order together. Groom is super awkward and won't give a straight answer, barely even looks us in the eyes. Bride has somehow failed to inform us that her parents are divorced and haven't spoken to one another in years. Great. That eventually gets worked out and they walk down the rehearsal aisle to the poor guy officiating. We tell the officiant he can practice what he wants to say or just skip it and cut to the ring exchange. Homeboy pulls out a stack of papers and proceeds to read a 25-minute speech. Bride looks like she wants to ascend to another plane and the bridesmaids are barely containing themselves. They were nice and their wedding day was great and frilly and warm. Oh, and the officiant had them do their vows while he twirled a wand with streamers on it. What a weird weekend. Not particularly a wedding planner, however I was a wedding photographer at one of those cheesy wedding chapels on the strip in Las Vegas. The story I remembered most was this couple who got married. It was business as usual. We didn't think much of it, had the service, and took the photos. We told them to return the next day for photos. The next morning we get a call from the groom we will call James saying that his new wife Emily threw him out of the car last night and left him on the side of the road. We come to find out James wasn't an American citizen, so he essentially paid Emily I believe $10,000 so he can start the process of becoming a citizen. He was now asking if he could annul his wedding after being scammed out of $10K. It's fairly common you'd go online or even to other chapels to shop around to compare prices and the types of wedding packages other chapels offer. So a few months later we see Emily on another competitor's wedding website with a different guy. So we assumed she was making this a business, marrying dudes for money and leaving them high and dry. I wish I had some more resolution to the story, however that's all I have on my end. Other than that, you encounter a lot of interesting walks of life doing Elvis theme weddings/ceremonies with the occasional costume themes. I've had some good ones. I had the groom who wanted the minister to do the speak now or forever hold your peace thing, at which point the groom would reveal the gun holstered on his belt by lifting up his suit jacket. I nixed that immediately. The bride was perfectly normal and sweet, and I honestly worried that she was in an abusive relationship. Then there was the father of the bride who was a very strict Presbyterian and was hosting a dry wedding for 225 guests and reprimanded me for using the words cocktail hour. Like, yes sir, I understand there will be no alcohol served at this wedding, but it's still called cocktail hour. He also wanted 225 prime ribs served in 20 minutes, which was impossible with the size of our kitchen. He was a condescending asshole. Then there was the mother of the groom that pretty clearly didn't like the bride and didn't want to pay 1 penny more than she had to for the rehearsal dinner, which turned out to be a rehearsal luncheon. She decided on a deli buffet menu, make your own sandwich style, at $13 per person. Didn't even splurge for the $15 per person version, which would have gotten her some potato salad and desserts. She also liked to call me on my cell phone at 7:30 AM, well before I was in the office. I stopped answering her calls until she would call my office phone. All in all, though most of my couples were perfectly normal and nice, I honestly had more trouble with parents than I did with couples. Not a wedding planner, but attended a wedding of a super rich acquaintance. It was a large venue to accommodate around 1,500 to 2,000 guests, pretty common in my culture. The theme for all wedding festivities were, don't ask why, 50 Shades of Grey. Right from calling each other my Mr. Grey and my Miss Steele. Right from masks to fans and color themes, the entire place was decked up following that theme. Not to mention, as you enter the venue, there was a pictorial depiction of their journey set to the same theme. I have some great memories explaining this to my super conservative parents. This is not my story, but my friend's story. So, she was on her way to meet the couple, and she was weirded out because they planned the meeting in a graveyard. When she arrived, she noticed that the woman was a lot more attracted to the man. She just shrugged it off and asked them what do they want for their wedding. The woman said, anything you want, honey. And he said, you. Then he pulled out a syringe and my friend started running. She barely made it. A few weeks later she quit her job and later found out that another poor woman was called by the couple and went missing. She is still missing. Poor woman. She was just doing her job